Review this book.
Yo, SUC in the building. Let's get it.
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
It's getting real, it's real. Yeah. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days. World of confusion, Esau. Straying sheep from Yahweh. We can be perfect with practice. Follow Yah, not man laws. Heathens teaching false doctrines, yes. Time to pull out the sharp sword. Keep your focus on Yahweh. Yes, his law is only his word. No, the law's not done away with. And no, we don't celebrate Christmas. Before you mock the Most High. That's what them trees stand for. Paganism is still through fear. And when the season is dead, they call it New Year. In the spring, everything comes alive. Better know Babylon's alive. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days. The Roman Catholic Church has taught us all wrong. Friday through Saturday evening, better know our Sabbath strong, huh? Miss me with the sun gods, my God is Yahweh. Coming back and not for love, this world gon' devour. Last hour, sacrifice the flesh for your spirit. Hear and understand, better pray you can receive it. Jacob's trouble, see distractions, they really deceiving. Subliminal messages in the TVs, how you don't see this? Satisfaction in your sins, it's time to repent. Cause you wanna be a part of the remnant. Gather yourselves together, O nation, not Josiah. Messiah is a coming out with water, but with the fire. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days. We don't play them pagan ways. We don't want your holidays. We don't do what heathens say. We got our own holy days.
Man,
Yeah.
that was fire. That was fire, man. Look, man. Everybody that's in Israel to do music need to go ahead and just drop an album. It don't gotta be 15 songs, 7 songs. 7 songs. Give us 7 songs that we can go right on our Amazon app, iTunes app, boom, buy it, boom. We got some good music that we can rock to and we can vibe to. Cause that was fire, man. The sister remind me of Rhapsody. Y'all know who that is, Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dope lyricist, got a good flow, good rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Yeah. I was feeling that one, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. We're by the end of the show, man, the sister got a collab together, fire joint. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about, man. You know, support one another. You know what I mean? Like Israel, man, it's real talent here, man. You know, music being cultivated, man, and brothers and sisters are taking it to another level. You know, I was blessed to be around when it wasn't as popular. Now it's like, you know what I'm saying, being taken to another level, man. So for all praise and glory to the Most High for that.
Yeah, man. All praises indeed. The sister, she did her thing with that one. Production, like this can rival uh mainstream, bro. This can rival
Yeah.
what's in the mainstream. And that's why, as a community, we should be pushing our artists. We should be listening to our artists and sharing it and getting them out there because we going against the machine. The machine gonna push their artists. They gonna push Cardi B. They gonna push 2 Chainz. They gonna push whoever out there that's hot right now. Pooh Shiesty. They gonna push these people. So just like they got that mentality, the strippers say, make your head hard against their head, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta match that intensity with our music. If we saying we Israel and we saying that we Jews, then why are we not having that same energy towards our artists and the people that's putting in for our nation?
Yeah, man. That's why it's the responsibility of the listeners as well, man. Brothers and sisters got to start sharing and pushing the music that you know what I'm saying, that they vibe to. You know, it ain't about no monopoly on our end, man. Any true music artist, man, that you support, man, you should be doing all you can to sound the trumpet, man, the best you can. That's a responsibility of the entire nation, man.
That's a big fact, man. Speaking of responsibility, I want to say to the audience that's in here right now, hitting that like button don't cost you $1.
Right.
Hitting that like button is free 99.
Right.
Y'all playing, man. Stop playing. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell too, so you can know every time we go live. Every time we go live, you should be hitting that notification bell so you can get that link to see when we go live. And you can be a part of this and help us build and grow. Get our name out there. Every time you hit that like button, you helping towards our YouTube algorithm to get the videos more exposure. You understand? Yeah. So if you enjoy the information, you want us to get bigger than what we are, you're going to have to contribute by pushing that like button, hitting that notification bell, family. Let's do it. Subscribing to the Source Debate League on YouTube and following our Facebook group, the Source Debate League on Facebook. So, you know what I'm saying? Show some love. Show some support. Support the music. Support the Israelites. If you want to see these people grow, you're going to have to support them. When they make their EPs, their LPs, you're going to have to go out and buy it, just like you went out and bought Pooh Shiesty's album, how you went out and bought Cardi's album, and so on and so forth.
When spent your money on Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to destroy the minds of your children, you understand? But you got your children in the front room jamming to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The kids got a phone, they got an Amazon, they got an iTunes app, they buying all these singles. And right. you won't spend a cent. You won't send an Abraham Lincoln on the Israelite song, man.
Right.
So we got to do better. We got to do better, man. Support your own, homegrown. Support yours, and you know what I'm saying. That's how we get big. That's how we grow, by doing the Black Wall Street model. You know what I'm saying. Look at you examine Black Wall Street. How did they get big? Because they supported each other. And they made sure that dollar circulated. That's what made it great. We got to practice that. And that's a biblical principle. Jeremiah, ain't that in Acts 4? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we make sure that we good before we start going out here and spending with other people. You know what I'm saying? We make sure that the home team is straight. But with no further ado, y'all know what it is. It's SUC, Source Up Gang, Source Up Click. You know what I'm saying? SUC, we're going to throw it in your face. SUC in the place. You know what I'm saying? We sourced up and sourced out. Know what I'm talking about? Right. Gang, 7 gang, 7 candlesticks up. Been telling y'all, it ain't a debate, it's a stick up. So tonight, as y'all can see in the title, Black Jews in Africa and the Americas by Tudor Parfitt, Part 2. We really read over here, Jeremiah. We really read over here. You know what I'm saying? Garfield got exposed this week. You know, to go check that out. Garfield gets smoked by Tudor Parfitt. He got exposed. You know why he got exposed? Because he does not read the literature. He does not read sources. He don't. It's clear. We've been telling him that there were Jews in West Africa, many Jewish communities in West Africa. We've been telling them some of them Jews got swiped up in the transatlantic slave trade. We've been telling him that. Then you get Tudor Parfitt on there, and sit up here and say the same thing, and now he got egg on his face. So you guys don't have to worry about the source, because the source is always going to live up to the name, the source.
Facts.
It's either source up. Go ahead, brother. My bad.
Yeah, man. Talk to him, man. I mean, look, man. At the end of the day, they're working diligently, man, to try to. You know, the brother had said something, man. He was like, "Yeah, man. I'm not saying that." He said that. All I'm saying is just because I'm from the Caribbeans don't make me an Israelite. You damn right, brother. We ain't sitting out here saying, brother, it's totally fine for you to be from the Caribbean and not be an Israelite. You know, I just want to make that clear to everybody, man. Like, again, man, as I said before, man, we got to get out of this spirit of speaking in absolutes, man. You know, but there got to be a reason that this movement is rising, and has rise to a degree now, Joshua. I heard some new information that the Israelite community is bigger than the conscious community.
That's a fact.
I mean, you know, so this is something new to me. So I'm you know, I'm thankful to the Most High for the movement, man.
Right. You know, the book we covering together is Edith Bruder's book on the Black Jews of Africa. She talks about how huge this community is. Bruce D. Haynes, another PhD, talks about how huge the Israelite community is. We span other countries. We're in Africa. We got people that's in Mozambique. We got people in the Caribbean. We got people in South America. 200,000 people claiming to be Israelites, man. In South America, in Brazil. See, people look at this YouTube and they think YouTube is a reflection of reality. No, it's not. There ain't no Sonetta TV in Africa.
Right.
But there's Igbo Israelites in Africa, right? Rabbi Fournier, I was watching his interview the other day on the Kuluno Inc. Maybe we'll touch on that on the channel. He was talking about he was over a congregation with 250,000 Nigerians, man.
Damn.
250,000.
Dang.
And that was 20 years ago. So think about where it's at now. The Israelite community is big. And that's why I was telling when Garfield said, well, the Israelites don't like me because I'm stopping them from blowing up. We already blew up. What did you talk? We've been blowing up. Playing with me. Rabbi Matthew and Rabbi Ford, we've been blowing up. We've been hot since Cherry, man. That's right. 1900s. Cherry, when he got the truth and the understanding on who we are, he went to Africa. He went to different places and spread the gospel and got more people involved. So we've been doing this for hundreds of years. Just because people suppress it, don't talk about it, don't mean it's not going on. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, we way bigger than them cats. Them cats is a microcosm compared to what we are. You feel me? All right, man. Shout out to the Orthodox Moor in the building. He says, source up or shut up. That's right, man. Source up or shut up. All right, let's get it. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. You know how we do. We actually read over here. We actually read over here, man. Why the competition don't read like we do? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and open up for my Dagger Squad, viewers. My Team Osiris viewers. So we do something your channel don't do.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow.
Man, we taking you guys through the reading rainbow today, man. These other cats, they do not read. It shows. Garfield, you can't read. But it's cool. It's cool. That's what we here for. We here to fill in that void and fill in that gap. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's crazy to me, Jeremiah? A brother told me that the Israelites need to leave the conscious community. We want you out of the conscious community. We never accepted the invite. Like, why are you guys pretending like we a part of y'all clique? We not a part of y'all. We got our own thing going. Oh, are you saying you're not conscious? No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm not associated with this thing you call the conscious community.
Right. Right. Talk to these niggas, man.
Man, we Israel and that's it, man. Nation, we repping the nation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all either gonna get down, lay down, that's it. All right, but anyway, with no further ado, we got the book here, Black Jews in Africa and the Americas, as promised, Tudor Parfitt. We're going to be dealing with chapter 2 tonight. And after you finish this series, it's going to be as if you read the book yourself. And anybody that wants to, reference the book or reference the topic, they can always come to our channel and watch the breakdown. And before we get started, how could I forget this, Jeremiah? How could I forget this? I want you guys to know, I want all our viewers to know that we are being attacked. Every video since we addressed Team Osiris has been copyright claim. We have been attacked on every video. So what we're going to do from now on, we already been doing. We had this in practice, but we're going to make sure every time before I read or going into any source material, we're going to deal with the fair use law because we have a lot of enemies and they would like to see this channel be destroyed. So they're going and make these false copyright claims. But we're well within our right to review, comment, add criticism, report, do anything for scholarship and research is what we're doing tonight, right? And we will be adding commentary as we go along. That's in the Fair Use Act, right? So it says under the Copyright Act, the fair use of copyrighted material without permission is allowed when used for the following purposes: criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including making copies for use in the classroom, scholarship and research, and parody. So we're well within the right. We're not selling this man's material. We're not claiming that this material is ours. We're just adding commentary, reviewing the information, and teaching and researching. That's all we're doing here. So I just want to make that clear because we've been constantly attacked ever since we brought up those erroneous claims by Team Osiris. And we got an idea on who's doing it. You understand? We have a great idea of who's doing it. Because out of nowhere, Jeremiah, we start getting copyright claims as soon as we address these cats. The first video that gets the copyright claim is the video dealing with them.
And let me ask you this, man. Does somebody has to make a claim in order for a claim to be made?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Somebody has to make the claim. And it's just so happened to be the video that you're talked about in and you're involved in. Yeah, it's somebody from your camp. Somebody from Team Osiris, and I think we all know who's doing it because Chris, I'm just gonna say your name. I'm not gonna, beat around the bush here. You did this to Judah Nazareth and got his channel took down. You kept flagging his videos. This is what you do. You're known for this. You're reputed for this. But guess what? You're not stopping anything over here because all of your claims are fallacious. We read the Fair Use Act every show. We read the Fair Use Act every show.
Facts.
So again, we're well within our right. All right. I just had to put that disclaimer out there, family. We're going to get right to the book, as you can see in your stream. Chapter 2, Lost Tribes of Israel and Africa. If you just tuned in, this is the Black Jews in Africa and the Americas by Tudor Parfitt. It reads, in medieval times and earlier, there was the widespread notion of that somewhere in Africa, as well as elsewhere in the world, Jewish kingdoms and mountaintop cities, people by certain of the lost tribes, were to be found somewhere beyond the fabulous river Sambat Yon. The Sambat Yon spewed stones rather than water and did not flow on the Sabbath day. No one could cross the Sambat Yon during the week because of the stones. And on the Sabbath, the pious lost tribes would not traverse it because the prohibition of traveling on the Sabbath. The myths and legends associating Sambat Yon and the lost tribes with the African interior were responsible to some degree for the development of the imagined communities of Black Jews throughout Africa. So a lot of people will look at this work and be like, well, he's using the words myth, legends, and imagine. Like, well, he's just discounting it. Actually, he's not, but he's being what we call objective, and he's being fair with the information, right? Because a lot of it is just legend and myth. And I just got a new book about how majority of African history is legend and myth. Majority of African history is oral history. If I could pull this book up real quick, not wasting too much time. Let me get it out of the box here. I was just reading it the other day when it came in the mail. This is the Orthodox Encyclopedia of African Historiography, Methods and Sources. I just got this book, so I'm not going to put it on the screen. I haven't typed it in or anything like that. I don't have a digital copy. But within this book, it talks about, right here in the introduction, in the absence of the usual documentary historical sources, African historians have developed a wide variety of alternative methods and sources to reconstruct African past, such that the anthropologist Wyatt McGaffey characterized African history as a decathlon of social sciences. Archaeology, historical, linguistics, ethnography, and oral traditions have all been widely utilized over the past 50 years. So again, when you're dealing with African history, majority of it is not written. So they have to use these different methods to construct Africans' past. And one of the methods they use, the historiographers use, is oral history. All right? So I don't want to hear nobody saying, well, it's just oral history. Well, if you're going to throw away oral history, you're going to throw away majority of Africa's past, which would be what? Nonsensical, irrational. All right? So let's get back into it. It says, for Jews and Christians, the continued existence of the lost tribes of Israel was axiomatic. The lost tribes were viewed as the descendants of the 12 sons of Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, and Joseph. However, the tribe of Levi was scattered among the other tribes, where its members served as a hereditary priesthood. The remaining 11 tribes were restructured into 12 secular groups, the number 12 having sacred properties, perhaps corresponding to the 12 months of the year. To achieve this, the tribe of Joseph was subdivided into 2 tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. The unity of the 12 tribes was short-lived, and soon they were split into 2 kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the kingdom of Israel, which consisted of 10 of the tribes, and one southern kingdom, Judah, which included Judah, Simeon, and most of Benjamin. As a result of the invasion of the Assyrian kings, Tiglath-Pileser III, 732 BCE, and Sargon, 721 BCE, the kingdom of Israel was defeated, and the northern tribes were exiled in 2 stages, chiefly to Assyria, Media, and the lands of the neighboring Aram Naharaim. The elements of the 10 tribes exiled to Assyria may be presumed to have been absorbed into the Assyrian population, as had many others who fell prey to the Assyrian policy of forced Assyrianization and ethnic cleansing. There is some Assyriological evidence that individuals with Hebrew names were still found in the Assyrian army units in the 7th century BCE, but there is no other clear evidence of the continued existence of the exiles. So I would like to add commentary here, because we read this also in Ida Bruder's work, where she brought up the archaeology showing that Israel did indeed get exiled, and we do have evidence of that, of their names showing up in the Assyrian armies. Why is that important? I'm going to tell you why that's important. That gives credence to the historical narrative of the Bible, because we got a lot of people on YouTube and on social media doubting the existence of the Bible, the historicity of the Bible. Well, we have numerous archaeological and anthropological evidences that point to a historical truth, man. And it shows the historicity of the Bible. We know the Assyrian siege happened. We know it happened because we have archaeology to back it up. You have the Black Obelisk showing that these kings actually infiltrated and took people out of the land of Israel. So anybody doubting the historicity of the Bible at this point, you're cynic. You're a cynic. You can't even say you're skeptical at this point. You're just a cynic. And cynics, that's what they do. They just say everything's fake, everything's false. No matter how much evidence, no matter how much proof, it's just fake and it's false because you guys are pushing an agenda. All right, so we're going to read on. It says, this is the point.
Yeah, hold up real quick, man. I don't see how you're able to have a conversation with this guy and create a narrative when his whole career is based on proving Black Jews exist in Africa.
Right.
When your whole narrative is that Judaism is fake when it comes to Black people, anybody that's Black is a convert. This is exactly contrary to that, bro. Not only is it showing, it's identifying the color spectrum, but it's also giving you a migration pattern that you can clearly follow.
Right.
I yield.
Right. That's a fact. And at this point, it's like you guys are just being cynics. It don't matter how much evidence is put in your face. And this is why I always tell people, I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm giving the information to those that want to hear. You understand? That's what scriptures say, whether hear or forbear. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for those that want to hear. I'm not trying to convince you of nothing. But those that want to study this information, that want to gain more knowledge in the field or in the category, I'm here for you. I'm here for your support. I'm here for your benefit. I'm not here to make these guys, these hard-headed guys, see truth. They see it. They don't care about truth. It's not about truth. It's about pushing an agenda, like we've been saying. All right, so we're going to read on. It says, this is the point at which the history of the lost tribes of Israel stops and the history of the myth of the lost tribes starts. A lot of people look, oh, he's using the word myth. Again, this is dealing with oral testimony as well, legends as well, myths as well, right? Now, I'm going to go back to this book about the Oxford Encyclopedia of African Historiography, Methods and Sources. I'm sorry, it's not on the screen. I actually have the physical book in my hand. And this is the portion about early African past sources, interpretations, and meanings. Page number 7. It says, to write about periods and places beyond literacy, that is, without fine-grained calendar dates and named individuals, historians developed a conventional base of sources. Paleoecology, historical linguistics, archaeology, and anthropological genetics helped most with the periods before the 10th century. That means before the 10th century CE, these guys are having to implement these methods to reconstitute or rebuild Africa's past. It says oral traditions, a great variety of representational and functional objects, ethnographic descriptions, and other documents help most with the following centuries. So again, they do not discount oral traditions, which would fall into the myth and legend category. They use that to reconstruct Africa's past. Just want to keep that in your memory banks. And then if we go, let me see if I have my Edith Bruder PowerPoint up. A student of Mr. Parfitt, Dr. Parfitt, a student of Dr. Parfitt, we've been covering her book. She says clearly, it's plain. It's plain as day what she says about the usage of the word myth and how they use the term myth. Again, page number 98 in the Black Jews of Africa. It says
right. These things are rooted in something tangible. Go ahead, Oxlakia.
Facts. So that's exactly what they mean. It's something behind it. It's not saying pure fiction. It says it right here in page 98 of Edith Bruder's book, Following Mircea Eliade. I'm using the concept of myth, which reveals a living pattern rather than a pure fiction, as a sacred history and therefore a true history because it always refers to reality and at the same time reveals the eruption of the sacred into the world. So again, These people are not discounting something just because it's regarded as a myth. And then if you go to the introduction to Ida Bruder's book, it says, she quotes Sigmund Freud, however you say it, it's French, right? Page number 3, it says, but with this contempt, one will commit unfairness similar to the thoughtless rejection of material legends, traditions, interpretations of people's prehistory. They call this a thoughtless rejection. Why? Because it reads on, it says, despite all the distortions and misunderstandings, it is through them that the reality of the past is represented.
Right.
Come on, man.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So basically, what you're talking about, they're giving legitimacy to what people say about themselves. You have to take that into account, and then you collect that with things that are said about them by other people. This is all a part of the research method, right? And then you compare these things. It's a method behind all this, family. It's not just one way of doing things. Oh, I'm just going to take the myth. Oh, I'm just going to take what others say about them. You have to compile all these informations and compare, right? So you can come to a more concise resolution when it comes to the identity of these people. That's a fact, man.
Right, right. It's like the core element of the story is still going to be true. Like we just read about the Sambatyon. Let's say that's all fictional. The Sambatyon, the rivers of stones that spit out stones. Let's say it's all fictional. What about the migration of the people? Did a migration happen? And Tudor Parfitt covers that in his book. A migration of people we call Jews or Israelites did indeed happen in times past. We read that the other day. Let me get it. Oh, let me get it. Let me get it. Get out of this. We read that the other day. I'm going to keep reading this. And Sarah Taib Carlene's book in the Jews of North Africa. All right. So we can clearly see a migration of Jews penetrated into Africa in early times. All right. And I always go to the point of, pre-Islamic period right here. It says the Jews under the Carthage and Phoenicians, it's page number 16, from 813 to 146 BCE. This is how far this history stretches back. The Jews are described as being native to North Africa and almost as part of its flora and fauna. Flora meaning, flowers, plants, fauna meaning animals, right? Ever since historians and archaeologists started to write on this region with regards to the foundation of Carthage in 813 BCE by Dido. And we know Dido is related to Ahab and Jezebel, man. Right? So it says Dido, the queen of the Phoenicians. However, it is also possible that these Jews had settled in North Africa prior to this date. As we know, King Solomon, who reigned from 973 to 936 BCE, had an excellent economic relations with King of Tyre, Hiram, who reigned from 969 to 935 BCE. Indeed, one can read in the Bible, right? And we already know the passage in question. So they're saying that this history goes all the way back to this period, the 10th century BCE. We had North African Jews coming into Africa, trading and traveling. So a migration did happen. You did have a movement of people from the Levant, from that area, from that locality into Africa. That's not even disputed. You can't even dispute that anymore. That's nothing you can. Hey, what my brother say, you Negroes can't refute that. All right, so let's get to the Pax Romana. I always bring this up.
Facts. Talk to him, man. Talk to him, man.
According to Saint Jerome, under the Pax Romana, the Jewish communities underwent a period of great prosperity, all the way from India to the western tip of Africa.
No. They gotta say only to Ethiopia.
The western tip of Africa.
Right.
So we've been in these lands. We've been accustomed. We know the Saharan route. That's how we were able to, and we're going to cover that in the next chapter of Edith Brutus' book. So y'all tune in for that as well. We were able to draw maps that were accurate of West Africa. We're the first ones to do it. Jews are, because we are familiar with the landscape. Look at the Catlin Atlas. That depicts the Sahara, the Sahel, which is below the Sahara, and parts of Western Africa underneath the Sahel. Because we know those routes and we know those places. We've been there for thousands of years. That's the only explanation for that. All right. So, again, right here it says this chain of events, talking about Titus and the sacking of Jerusalem. This chain of events occurred once again following Bar Kokhba's insurrection from 132 to 135. And we know Hadrian, the Roman emperor, made it illegal for us to even claim that we're Jews. We got expelled then, and that's when Judea got renamed to Palestine. You understand? And during this epoch of time, the failure of his revolt led directly to the expulsion of the Jews of Israel, who had also been enslaved and redeemed by their North African brethren. So again,
we have to take that in consideration too, right? Like when we're going into certain parts of Africa and you're seeing people with different names with Hebrew Israelite practices. These people were hunted severely. And it's like they don't take that in consideration. You know, every other tribe or groups of people were able to enter into certain agreements with the Romans, man. Right? Were able to enter into certain agreements when it was told to them that we're not looking for you, we're looking for these other guys.
Right.
And so now you start to see less connections as far as people identifying themselves purposely, attempting to make a separation with Israel based upon these people hunting them. Right? I yield.
Facts, big facts. So what they can't say, Jeremiah, is the Jews had nothing to do with Africa, have nothing to do with West Africa. We have an abundance of proof to show that this migration did occur in times past, and there's nothing you guys can do about it. You either take the truth or you don't. You know what I'm saying? All right, so back to the book. Page number 21 is where we left off. It says, this is the moment the 10 tribes disappeared from normal history and became an imagined mythical community. The 10 tribes as an imagined community assumed great importance in the prophecies. For instance, in Ezekiel 37:16, where the final redemption of Israel was linked to the reunion of the lost tribes with the descendants of the southern kingdom. And this explains why it is that fundamentalist Christians have such a keen interest in groups throughout the world who claim to be descended from the lost tribes. The Apocrypha carried on the story of the lost tribes, revealing the subsequent to their deportation. The tribes formed this plan for themselves, and that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region where mankind had never lived, that there at least they might keep their statues, which they had not kept in their own land. And if you guys are familiar with that, that's 2nd Ezra chapter 13, 40 through 48 is where he's getting that from, right? It is from the texts such as these that the whole edifice of later lost tribes mythology was constructed. One of the features that become axiomatic in the myth of the lost tribes, as we have seen, is their presence beyond the river that by the time of Josephus was called the Sabbatical River, and later text the Sambat Yon, or some similar versions of the name implying a relationship with the word Sabbath. In each case, this river observes the rules ordained for the Sabbath, which is to say that on the Sabbath it stops flowing. Certainty about the existence of the lost tribes passed effortlessly into the Christian canon. In the book of Revelation, we read, and there were sealed 144,000 of all tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000, of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000, and so on. For Christians, there were two broad categories of Jews: who played an important role in the Christian imagination. From the first Christian centuries, the view was expressed that somewhere in the world there were warriors descended from the lost tribes who were biding their time, but who would rally to Christ upon his return and help him rout the forces of evil. The Jews were less obsessed by imagining Jews than were Christians, but there was some debate among Jews as to where the lost tribes were and if they really existed. There is, for instance, a passage in the Jerusalem Talmud that puts some long-enduring flesh on the bones of the myth. We hear that the 10 tribes were carried away to 3 distinct places: to the other side of the Sambat-Yon River, to Daphne, and to the place where they were covered by the cloud which descended upon them, and where they will eventually be redeemed. According to other versions, the tribes in the third locust just means location, right? The third locust were supposed to have been covered not by a cloud, but exiled inside the dark mountains. And it's interesting they brought this up. Oh, it's going to say it. It said, this is the sense in the 2nd century rabbinic historical work, Seder Olam Rabbah. These dark mountains were taken to represent Africa, which according to the Talmud, Alexander the Great had to traverse to get to Carthage. So what he's bringing out is it was in the religious discourse, Talmud, Christian writings, Mishnah, about these lost tribes. And one of the places that they put the lost tribes, or put these tribes, is in Africa, beyond these quote-unquote dark mountains, right? Another of the starting points for the Jews in Africa myths was the 9th century Sefer Eldad, written by one Eldad the Danite. Eldad the Danite. Eldad is known to have visited Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Yemen, and most famously, the important community of Karun in present-day Tunisia. Here he made some noteworthy claims that he was a Hebrew-speaking member of the tribe of Dan, which he said was still flourishing in Havilah and Cush, taken to be Ethiopia, along with Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. The 4 tribes fought continuous wars against 7 kingdoms with 7 languages. In addition, he gave information about the children of Moses who were incarcerated beyond the river of Sambat-Yon. The 4 tribes on the far side of the Sambat-Yon could not speak to the tribes on the near side, as the river was too wide, and the noise it made too great. They communicated by a carrier pigeon. Eldad, you want to say something out?
No, I'm listening, man. Go ahead.
Eldad,
I thought I might have chimed in. You all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. Eldad painted a utopian picture of the life of the lost tribes. Children in the distant land never died in lifetime of their parents. The Talmud there was written in the purest Hebrew. They were warlike, Spartan in their daily habits, and exceedingly prosperous. What I find intriguing about what Eldad was writing is that you read about like the Limba and they talk about this warrior history, or you read about even the Bantu expansion, and we know that our ancestors went through Africa and dominated it because of their ability to use iron metallurgy. They had iron tools, and they made like people like the forest people or bushmen subservient to them, and they took over them and started replacing a lot of those males with A and B haplotypes during this period. I feel as if this history that Eldad was presenting is analogous or similar to what we call the Bantu expansion, and that's why I put those 2 in the same pocket. But that's for another one. I did a whole presentation on the source about the Bantu expansion, so you guys can check that out, see where I went in that actual breakdown.
So these connections are based upon certain abilities that these people were able to execute in their areas and regions.
Right.
In regards to the tutelage that they was using, like tools and certain methods that they were utilizing.
That's how I analyze the information that for these people to come in Africa and be warlike and pretty much, if we look at the Bantu expansion, they dominated because those tribes in sub-Saharan Africa were still using stone tools and we was using iron. So iron, one of the strongest metals, we're able to deforest faster. We were able to, and we had farming, so we didn't have to worry about hunting and gathering. We had a surplus of food, so our population outgrew theirs. There's so many reasons that went into that, and I feel like this story is analogous to that, meaning similar to, and I put those two in the same box because of that. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's the historical reality that's being reflected in what they call myth.
Yeah, man. I mean, like in layman terms, man, the difference is difference is them being able to utilize stone on the end of arrows, like the brother said, drop down trees. You understand in comparison to others using stones, right? Stones break. You know what I mean? You use a stone to try to chop a tree. You might go through so many amounts of stone. You'll probably be able to get it done, but not as quickly, right? These things matter when it comes to building civilizations and just campsites and certain citied off, walled off regions, man. This is what the brother is talking about when he's talking about metallurgy, right? These being able to upgrade their tools to be more efficient and quicker with the development of society.
Man, that's a fact. And that's how the Bantus were able to dominate sub-Saharan Africa. And that's why today people with E-markers have the lion's share in Africa. Majority of the people there have E-markers because of what we call the Bantu expansion. Wasn't always like that. All right, so back to the reading. We're on page 23. We read the Talmud. There was written in the purest Hebrew that they were warlike, Spartan in their daily habits, and exceedingly prosperous. We may be quite sure that Eldad of the tribe of Dan was not as claimed a member of the tribe of Dan, and we may be fairly sure that his name was not Eldad if we take the corpus of texts associated with him more or less at face value. It may be possible to deduce, and the number of modern scholars have done so, that Eldad was a Jew from either the other Eastern Islamic world or very much less plausibly from Ethiopia. So again, like I said, he's open to the information. He's being objective. He's giving all explanations to who Eldad could be. People will read this book and be like, okay, well, he's denying it. Nah, I mean, he's saying it's plausible. He's not saying, well, I know for 100% fact that this is not true. No, he's saying it's plausible. And that's what scholars do. This is how you get a PhD. You got to be honest. All right. He says, what we know about him is that he had a series of adventures, which included being captured by cannibals. He knew something about Jewish law and literature, and he arrived to Caron in 883 before continuing on to Spain, at which point he disappeared from view. Some scholars in the 12th century have seen Sefer Eldad, the first reference to the Philosophes or Beta Israel, Ethiopia. But Stephen Kaplan casts grave doubt on it. Uhlendorf and Beckenham have suggested that there may be an Arabic substratum to his Hebrew, suggesting some sort of Arabian origin. What we do know is that Eldad existed and made the claims outlined above. It could well be that his purpose, if he had a greater purpose, but storytellers often do not, was to raise the spirits of the Jews by giving them news of the tribes of Israel who lived in freedom. The reports of the existence of such Jewish kingdoms undoubtedly encouraged and comforted Eldad's hearers by contradicting the Christian contention that Jewish independence had ceased forever with the destruction of the Second Temple. One way or another, Eldad's work was to have an enduring influence on the Jewish and European Imagineer. According to some scholars, Eldad's tale gave rise to the legend of Prester John, although there's also the possibility that while the Prester John letters are almost 3 centuries later than Eldad, some of the literary material associated with Eldad is much later than has been thought, and that it reflects the Prester John material, not the reverse. Even if this is true, it does look as if the elements of Eldad's story may have been woven into various versions, Latin, Hebrew, and Provençal of the Prester John letters. In time, Eldad's Hebrew account, Sefer Eldad, which was first printed on Mantua in 1480 and was to be translated into a number of languages, including German, Latin, and Arabic, had a considerable impact upon the way Africa was viewed in Europe and made a great contribution to the notion that Jews inhabited the African interior. Such a notion was not necessarily viewed with favor by Jews. The polemical work written by the prolific Miguel de Barrios from 1625 to 1701 on the history of the Sephardic community of Amsterdam went to some pains to dissociate the history of the Jews from the history of the Black Africans. The background to this is the profusion of texts that suggested certain Africans had Jewish ancestry. So that's huge. De Barrios contradicted, for instance, the Jesuit Antonio Possevino, 1533 to 1611, who had cited Prester John as a source for the fact that Ethiopians were descended from King Solomon and their aristocracy descended from Abraham. This information was available anyway, since the Spanish translations of the parts of the Ethiopian royal chronicles, the Kebra Nagas, which appeared in the Historia de las Cosas de Ethiopia, Antwerp 1557, with a French translation the following year, had traced back the royal line to the union of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba and their son, Ethiopia's first emperor, Menelik I. We dealt with this same topic in Edith Bruder's book. A lot of the things that he talking about, Edith Bruder covers as well. We talked about the Kebra Nagas. I personally cast doubt on it, I'm doubtful of that. I just believe that Jews eventually migrated into Ethiopia. We have plenty of evidence of that. The Elephantine Papyri, we had Jews in Aswan, so on and so forth. Jews in Egypt going into these areas. I believe these people descend from those ancestors. All right, so continue to read on page 25.
Hold on 1 second, real quick. You had read something that was very powerful, because according to the naysayers, right? The only reason that we have any resemblance of Judaism in Africa from Black Africans is because of conversion. I need you to go up a couple of lines where you said they're Jew by descent or their ancestry.
Yeah, right here.
I want that to go over people's heads. This is very important, family. Again, we are not speaking in the realms of absolute. We're not saying everybody in Africa is a Jew, right? This is what we're saying. Go ahead and read that, Art.
The background to the profusion of text that suggested that certain Africans had Jewish ancestry.
There you go. Certain Africans had Jewish ancestry. Certain Africans. Now, what Africans, family? And how they identify? I need to make sure that you all are paying attention, right, to the information that's being brought out, so you will be better equipped to defend yourself in these type of conversations. Again, we have to move away from absolutes, and we have to start dealing with the information as such, right? We can't make the claim that every single slave that got on a slave ship was an Israelite. Can't make that claim anymore, right? What we can do is say and prove that among the slaves were absolutely people that were descended from Israelites. That's what we can say, and that's what we're proving right now. I want to make that clear to everyone, man. Right? We have to have growth in our verbiage.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. And I want to land me back off of that last statement you made, that some of the Jews that got on slave ships, some of the Africans that got on slave ships were Jews. And you know who said that 100 years ago? I believe you got the book, Blair Niles. And I'm trying to get the quote right here. Y'all can see. Blair Niles noted that in her book, Black Haiti, almost 100 years ago. Let me see if I can find it. I know it's in here. She basically said the Jews of Haiti were said to be Jews mixed with Negroes. Let me get that. Pardon me, y'all. It's been a while since I looked at this. I released this presentation as well, the Black Jews 2021 edition. You can check that out on the channel as well. That came out on the 6th. So yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna continue to feed y'all with great content, book highlights, book reviews, overviews. We're doing it all here. We're working at the source. So let me get that blur. I really want to show this blur now to back up what the brother just said. It might be towards the end, but in the book of Blur now, she basically talks about the slaves of Haiti. Right here. Blur now's page number 113. It says the slaves imported from Africa had come from the Gold Coast, the Ivory Coast, the coast of Angola, and the Slave Coast, all the way from the Gulf of Guinea to the Cape of Good Hope. Now, we know the Gulf of Guinea was inundated with these, what we call Luso-Africans, and many of these Luso-Africans were themselves Jews. They say they represented most of the tribes of that dark and mysterious continent. Some were said to be descendants of Jews mixed with Negroes. So what the brother just said was accounted for almost 100 years ago. When was Black Haiti released? Let's get it. I think 1936 or something like that.
Yeah. Bring it out.
Wait, Blair Now's Black Haiti. I was introduced to the book by Joseph Williams, who wrote The Hebrewisms of West Africa. He cited it, and I found the book. When was this book released? I know it had to be 1936. 1932. 1932. So almost 100 years ago, this was attested to in her book. So let's get back to the book.
The book Black Haiti?
The book Black Haiti, page number 113.
All praise and glory. I got the book right here, man. One page what?
Page number 113. It would talk about some of the slaves were said to be descended of Jews and mixed with Negroes. Page 113. I just read it to the people. I have it right here.
It says some were said to be the descendants of Jews mixed with Negroes.
Mm-hmm. So again, like this is why Garfield got embarrassed on his channel. This stuff has been out there forever. J.A. Rogers, Blair Niles, Joseph Williams. We could just go down the list and keep going. This has been attested to.
No, man, it didn't come into play until the 1960s with One Way. It
didn't come into play.
Something else. Yeah.
All right, that's why it was stated in Eda Brutus' book that these Black Jews in America have been going strong for at least 150 years. She said over 150 years. But we can ascertain that 150 years we've been going strong at identifying ourselves as Israelites and bringing these different proof texts to back that up. All right. So let's get back to where we were. We left off on page number 25, right at the green highlighted portion up top. Bernardo Jose Aldrete from 1565 to 1645, a cleric in Cordoba, had also argued that Ethiopians were of Jewish blood, as Jews had long before been exiled to Ethiopia. It could be that some of these ideas about African and Jewish, now listen to this part right here. It could be that some of these ideas about African and Jewish others could be traced back to ancient writers such as Sulpicius Severus. Now we know who the Severian family is. The Severian family is famous for what? In 191 AD, taking down the Roman Empire and starting the Severian dynasty. You understand? So I wonder if this Severius is of that dynasty, because under that dynasty, the Jews were prosperous. Why? Because Septimius Severus himself was a Punic. All right, he would be considered a Semite. You understand? And he was pretty favorable to the Jews of that time, and they were very prosperous during his era. I think I have a source on that. I think this same source here. Let me see if I can get it. Right here. Page number 1920. This is the Jews of North Africa from Dido to Gaul, right? by Sarah Taib Carlin. Page number 19 says, Marcel Simon notes, however, that later on, the Severus Roman dynasty, 193 to 235, a dynasty of African origins and of Semitic culture, was openly Philo-Semitic. Under the Severii, the Jews underwent a period of prosperity during which they were able to spread their beliefs throughout the Roman Empire without any restrictions, and especially among the Berbers. You see that? So now back to the Parfitt's work. Again,
hold on. Before we go back, I want to read a little bit from this Black Haiti.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Huh?
I said, let's get it. Yeah.
This is this 113. It says the slaves imported from Africa had come from the Gold Coast, the Ivory Coast, and the coast of Angola, and the Slave Coast, all the way from the Gulf of Ghana to the Cape of Good Hope, to the Cape of Good Hope. They represented most of the tribes of that dark and mysterious continent. Some were said to have been descendant of Jews mixed with Negroes. These were tall, well-built men whose features had a Caucasian cast and whose language was clearly Semitic. Right? So it's you these regions is telling you the Gold Coast region, the Ivory Coast, and the coast of Angola. People that came in, and some of them were descendant of Jews.
Facts.
We have to take that into consideration, family. Real talk.
Right. And then that's just historical, man. A lot of people getting mad at history. This is just what happened in history. Great information. Great add-on, brother. All right, so let's get back into the page. Was page 24 and 25. It said it could be that some of these ideas about African and Jewish others could be traced back to ancient writers such as Sulpicius Severus, 360 C to 425, who maintained that all sorts of people from Ethiopians to Indians, in fact, descended from the Jews. Perhaps the most important medieval work for the study of the European perceptions of the other in the late medieval period and for several hundred years was the travel of Sir John Mandeville. Before we read that, we just got to understand that back in the 4th century CE, or the Common Era, you had this historian or this writer saying that these Jews were in Ethiopia and also in India when we deal with the Cochin Jews and stuff like that, right? So we still have historical attestation going back into ancient times telling you, hey, these people Jews. We got Jews living in these areas. So let that be noted. And again, this is something that's in Tudor Parfitt's book. You could tell who didn't read the book. You could tell. Let's keep going. Between 1350 and 1600, his work was the most widely read book of travel. There are more than 250 surviving manuscripts in German, Dutch, French, English, Latin, Old Irish, Danish, Czech, Spanish, Italian, and other languages. Over 3 times as many manuscripts of the Mandeville exist as the Odoric or of Marco Polo. As far as the lost tribes were concerned, Mandeville claimed they were found in mountain valleys in the distant land beyond Cathay. The Jews of the 10 lineages to be enclosed at Menklepet Gulf and Magog, and they may not go out on no side. There were enclosed toward the high end and toward Baccaria, men passed by the kingdom, the Menklep Kadilhe, that is a full fair country. Here were 22 kings with their people that dwelled between the mountains of Scythia. The king Alexander chased them between those mountains, and there he thought for to enclose them through work of his men. But when he saw that he might not do it, he prayed to God of nature and that he would perform that he had begun. Yet God of his grace closed the mountains together so that they dwelled there all fast locked and enclosed with high mountains all about, save only on one side, and on the side is the Sea of Caspian. And also you should understand that the Jews had no proper land of their own for to dwell in all the world, but only that land between the mountains. And yet they yield tribute for that land to the queen of Amazonia. And though it happened that some of them, by fortune to go out, they can no manner of language but Hebrew, so they cannot speak with the people. And yet now those men say that they shall go out in the time of Antichrist, and they shall make great slaughter of Christian men. And therefore all the Jews that dwell in the lands learn always to speak Hebrew, and hope that when the other Jews shall go out, they may understand their speech. And to lead them into Christendom, for to destroy the Christian people. For the Jews say that they know well by their prophecies, and that the Christian men shall be under their subjection as long as they have been in subjection of them. So again, he's covering all of the mythos that was floating around at that time. And that was one of the stories about the men of Scythia and the mountains of Scythia. It was speculated that it was Israelites there as well. The mouth of the valley system was guarded by the queen of Amazonia. And if it happened that any of them pass out, they can speak no language but Hebrew. They not speak with other men when they come among them. With the coming of the Antichrist, these Jews could be expected to join forces with other Hebrew-speaking Jews in other parts of the world, and would then overcome the Christian nations, turning them into vassal states. The equation of the lost tribes with the elementally inimical forces of Gog and Magog and groups associated with them, adding something to the fear and hatred with which the Jews were viewed. Travels included both Christian and Jewish myths and legends. The common ground between them is best exemplified in the sections of Preston John's materials. In the 12th century, Ethiopia, or part of it, was thought to be in the east, somewhere in the vicinity of the Caucasus toward India. Gradually, the idea took hold that a Christian kingdom existed stretching from East Africa to the Indus and across Africa as far as the Atlantic Ocean, and was ruled over by King Prester John. We covered this as well in Eder Bruce's book. It talks about the mythos of this putative king known as Prester John. In 1170, Pope Alexander III had referred to his beloved son, John the Illustrious and Glorious King of India. And for centuries, this figure of a saintly and almost supernatural Christian leader, foreshadowing the return of Christ at the end of the days, dominated the Western imagination. In the 12th century, a Latin version of the letter written to Manuel, ruler of the Romans, by Prester John, started circulating in Western Europe. According to this letter, he ruled over the 3 Indies from the burial place of St. Thomas in the south of the Tower of Babel in the desert of Babylon. 72 kings were subject to him. Among the subjects lived lost 10 tribes, the Amazons and the Pygmies, who were incarcerated behind the Sambat Yon. Through his kingdom flowed one of the rivers of paradise, carrying with it precious stones and golds, and the animals of the rim, including elephants, camels, griffins, and the phoenix. His subjects were free of every vice. They refrained from adultery and theft. They never lied, and the animals did not harm human beings, and no one was poor. So again, he's covering more of the Prester John myth, more of the Prester John legend that was being passed and taught in Europe. And they would throw the pygmies in there and throw the lost tribes in there as well. The Hebrew version of the letter notes that that close to the land of Prester John is a high mountain called Olympus, and underneath the mountain is a spring more important than anywhere in the world. And it is said that it's near a paradise, a distance of 7 days. And there are many precious stones close to the paradise, and they are called diamonds. And also in my country, at its edge, there's a great miracle, a sea of stones which make waves as the ordinary seas do. And there is a big wind, and it causes a great calamity. And no man is able to pass through the sea. And you may know that from the sea of stones there issues a river which comes from a paradise and flows between us and between the great country of the great King Daniel, King of the Jews. And the river flows all days of the week, but on the Sabbath it does not move from its place until one Sunday it returns to its strength. And when the river is fully beyond its banks, it carries very many precious stones. In the river there is no water, and no one can cross it except on the Sabbath. But we are placing guards at the passages. For if the Jews were able to...
Hold on, brother. Hold on. You're going too fast. Now, this is powerful because it's saying the Sabbath is what day?
The 7th day. Hey, It's a 7-day rotation, man. Eddie, look. I'm not in it. We gonna see what's gonna happen tomorrow. Hey, shout out to the Source Debate League. We got a debate tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Between the Heathen Slayer and Yawasop. They will be debating the Lunar Sabbath. So
right. So yeah, I need this screen shot right here, because remember, last week I began a series on, and I paused the series because of this debate. Right. So I'm trying to give a reverence to this debate and respect to these brothers who are getting in the ring. But I had started a series on the importance of the Sabbath. So this is going to be a major piece that I'm going to be adding, brother. I just need you to kind of read that again.
Yeah. I'm trying to get through this part, because this is just basically more mythos that was being circulated at the time about King Presta, the Jews in Africa, and so on and so forth. We understand that these myths contain some historical reality and value. And what I get the value and historical reality from it is that there were Jews here. You understand? The river flowing and all that other stuff. Okay, that could be fanciful. My whole thing is about the Jews being there. But yeah, it says for the Jews were able to cross, they would. It says that no one could cross it on the Sabbath, but we are placing guards at the passages. But if the Jews were able to cross, they would cause great damage in the whole world against Christians, as well as Ishmaelites, and against every nation and tongue under the heaven. For there is no nation or tongue which can stand up to them. There are under the rule of King Daniel 300 kings, all Jews, and all them possesses countries under the power of King Daniel. And also under his governance are 3,000 dukes and counts and great men, and we know that this country is unfathomable. And furthermore, I inform you that in his country they have many beautiful women, and they are ardent by nature. So the Jewish version or rendition of Prester John, they called him King Daniel, or called this mystified King Daniel, King of the Jews. All right, so reading on, it says Middle Eastern productions also contributed to the European knowledge about Africa. Until the 16th century, Arab writers such as Abu al-Hassan, Ali ibn al-Hussein, Ibn Ali al-Mas'udi from 896 to 956, Abu al-Rahan, Muhammad ibn Ahmad al-Biruni, 973 to 1048, and Muhammad al-Idrisi from 1099 to 1165 or 1166, knew more about Africa than any European geographer. And there are occasional hints suggesting the presence of Jews in Africa in their works. So these Arabian historians that wrote these things from the 9th century to the 12th century were recording actual Jewish communities in Africa during that time period. And these sentiments and their books and their works reverberated in Europe. It says, and echoes of this reached Europe for Renaissance Europe, and the best known of these Arab historians and geographers was Leo Africanus, 1492 to 1550, who was born of an Arab Muslim parent in Granada, and who traveled widely in Africa, visiting Timbuktu and the sub-Saharan empires of Bornu and Mali. His most important works was a description of Africa, which was written around 1528 and 1529, and for many years was the essential source on sub-Saharan Africa. In descriptions, there are frequent mentions of Jews in Africa. He notes significantly that there were warrior tribes in the Atlas claiming descent of King David. This Jewish law had once been widely observed there, that the Canaanites traveled to Africa, followed later by the Sabaeans, and that the ruler of Timbuktu disliked the Jews who attended his court. Right? It is noteworthy that the echoes of the ideas about the Jews in descriptions is suggesting that the dynastic line of some African royal houses goes back to King David, or that African legal systems are based on Israelite models, still today form an important part of discourse of origin of a number of African societies. Again, Jeremiah, how do you read this book and just not get this part?
Right.
I also want to do this. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Jeremiah, speak to the people. I want to grab another book of Tudor Parfitt real quick. Just cover me for a minute, and I'm gonna find that real quick.
No sweat, man. No sweat. All right, family. So again, man, we're looking and we're examining Tudor Parfitt's work concerning some of the mythos and some of the actual eyewitness accounts concerning the practices of the people in Africa. How do you speak and say the Jews are made up? They're just something. They're just and anybody that's in Africa dealing with Judaism is converts. When a multitude of times within this brother's work, he showed and bared witness to these people are connected to Judaism, or the Jews themselves, based upon descendancy. So my question is, how can they be descended and be a people of color? Oh, well, brother, it was white Jews that had sexual relations, are amalgamated into these different populations. But yet the population itself, or the civilization itself, that was developed within the midst of other civilizations, right? Such as in areas such as Ethiopia, areas such as Ghana, going back all the way up to northern Libya, dealing with the people of those areas and regions. We know that these people had migrated there from 70 AD based upon the oppression and slavery that was being dished out by the Romans. So are we supposed to just discredit this migration pattern? You understand? How do we have certain migrations going northward, some going southward, and now we have variations of different colors of Jews?
Right.
This is something that we have to examine, right, in order to take in consideration. Actually, brother Joshua, the claim that is being claimed in Africa, really, that claim should be claimed in the north. You understand? When you're talking about conversion. Why don't they never talk about the conversion in Europe? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
The European Jews are just totally accepted. But when it comes to you African Negroes, you Negroes was converted. I mean, I don't get it, bro.
Look, man, it's been attested before the Europeanization of a lot of these writings that Shem himself was black and pleasant. You understand? So if Shem is black and pleasant, I'm going to expect him to produce more black and pleasant people.
Right.
But I have the source here on the string. Excellent, powerful points, brother. This is his latest work, Tudor Parfitt's latest work, Hybrid Hate. And he's dealing with the hybridity argument that, okay, these Jews were seen as Negroes, and you have Jews that are white, some are black, so on and so forth. So that's why he named it Hybrid Hate. But if you go to page number 90, it says the existence of black Jews in Luongo was another example of the movement from white to black. A remarkable fact, wrote Armistead, in the history of Luongo and the Emperor of Congo, is that country contains many Jews settled in it. So thus separate from the African population, they are black and resemble the other Negroes in every respect. He added that he thought it likely that a black Jewish community in Africa, the descendants of a colony of Jews originally from Judea.
Damn.
Mentioned without any further detail by the well-known African-American writer and former slave Charles Pennington from 1807 to 1807, were also the community of Jews in Luongo. So this is solidified as historical fact that these black Jews existed in the Empire of Congo known as Luongo. And it was said that these Jews originally came from Judea. Man, drop a bomb on that, man. Now, can I get a bomb?
Man, we gotta get a bomb on that one, man. Damn.
And Luongo.
The black Jews in Luongo.
And you know what's heavy about this? Charles Pennington is the first ex-slave to write a book, bro. And in his book, he mentions these black Jews on the west coast of Africa coming from Judea. So let's
What's the name of his book? What's the name of his book?
His book, I don't know the name of his book off the top of my head, but I didn't quote it a couple times. But if you look up Charles Pennington, he was the first person to come with a narrative. Let me do it real quick.
Yeah, let's look at it real quick, man, because we want you brothers and sisters to have these resources, man.
Yeah, you can get this as a PDF for free online.
Yeah, man.
Slave. I forget the name.
Like it always do. Put in Charles Pennington, a picture of a white man come up.
Yeah. What's the name of this book, real quick? Let's see if old wiki is reliable. Let's see, bibliography. I don't know what the name is. He wrote a narrative though. I don't know the name of it. They probably just name it after him.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's all right. Well, listen, family.
Here it is. The origin. Here it is. The origin and history of colored people. That's what it's called.
There you go.
Considered the first history of African Americans, he directly challenged public statements by President Thomas Jefferson as the inferiority of black people.
Hey man, can you post that in the chat?
Yeah. I actually have this PDF. You can actually find this PDF for free online. I actually have it somewhere on my computer. Yeah. Boom. There it is. Everybody got it.
Boom. Boom. See that? Here at the source, we're going to give you the source. Okay?
That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact. Can my screen be seen? We're going to finish this chapter out.
Yeah. You good.
All right. So last thing we read was, it is noteworthy that echoes of the ideas about Jews. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah. We good.
All right. And that echoes of the ideas about Jews of description suggesting that the dynastic line of some African royal houses goes back to King David, or that African legal systems are based on Israelite models. Still today, from an important part of the discourse of the origin of number of African societies. As the major modern source on Africa, descriptions carry great authority in England, along with the translation of Antonio Pigafettus from 1491 to 1534. Account of the Congo was one of the few texts to deal with Africa. In the prologue to his English translation of description, John Porey noted about the fountains of the Nile. Some say there are the people called Kafri or Kafates, being black as pitch and of a mighty stature. And some
hold up, man. I thought this source was to discredit the black Hebrew Israelites, as they like to call us. So disrespectful. They just so disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Tudor Parfitt is objective in his research. He gives you the pros and the cons. That's all. Brothers just look at the cons, but there's pros in this book. And this is why Garfield got caught lacking the other day. He got smoked, man. R.I.P. Garfield A. Reed.
Yeah, man. So I need you to read that last part again about the foundations, King David, and the black Jews.
About the line of King David?
Yeah.
All right, so it's noteworthy that echoes of the ideas about Jews in description suggesting that the dynastic line of some African royal houses goes back to King David, or that African legal systems are based on Israelite models. Still today form an important part of the discourse of origin of a number of African societies.
Woo!
As
All right,
the-
man. So let me say this real quick, man. We got a lot of people watching, man. We truly appreciate your support. We're trying to grow a channel, right? The channel that we're trying to grow is the Source Debate League on YouTube, right? I know you brothers and sisters love Joshua. You can see him also at the Source Debate League. We need you to go over there and hit the subscribe button, family. Understand this. We're trying to build that channel up for a reason, because they have flagged us to death over here, right? So Joshua has a channel, I have a channel, Y'all World 777. I know y'all are watching there as well. You're watching on Genesis 49ers, but this is from what we've built up individually up until we coming together to build up this Source Debate League channel. So we want y'all to go over there and hit the subscribe button, right, and hit the notifications so we can get that channel to where we want it to be, because eventually we're gonna not be streaming over here no more. You're just going to get the alerts over here. And we're going to be streaming everything over there. And there's a reason for that. People come to our channel, they look, see us, 13 people here. Go over here, it's only 17 people watching over here. And they try to cast us off as if nobody's supporting the channel. You understand? But really it's 45, 55, 65 people watching. You understand? So, again, that's why we're trying to filter everything through that. This is something that we're building together collectively, right? So we can start doing greater works and presenting greater things to you, brothers and sisters. Because understand this, man, these books, these resources, these things cost money, man, right? So all praise and glory to the Most High for what he's doing for us. Well, all we asking you to do, right, is to hit the subscribe button and go to the Source Debate League channel and subscribe over there. All right, Salaki, I didn't mean to take that small commercial break.
No, that's all right. If you want more of something, you support it.
Right.
All right, so we go finish this up here. It says, as a major modern source on Africa, description carried great authority in England, along with translations of Antonio Pigafetta's 1491 to 1534 account of Congo, was one of the few texts to deal with Africa. In the prologue of his English translation of description, John Pori noted about the fountains of Nilus. Some say that there are the people called Kafri or Kafatis, being as black as pitch and of a mighty stature, and as some think descendant of the Jews.
Hold up, man. This is Tudor Parfitt.
This is Tudor Parfitt.
I thought he was used to destroy the black Jew notion in Africa.
Not at all. Not at all. We're going to see as we complete this book. This is just chapter 2. We're going to go to chapter 3. If you haven't seen part 1, it's dealing with the color of the Jews, one of the most powerful and prolific chapters ever written. Go back and watch part 1, and I'll probably go to the end of it just to show you, give you a taste of it. Go back and watch part 1, see chapter 1 in the preface and why he wrote this book. It's always important to read the preface and see why these people are writing their books. Because if you just read that, it kills a lot of these notions out there that this is anti. No, it's not. All right, so it says, but now they are idolaters and most deadly enemies to the Christians, for they make continual assaults upon the Abessines, despoiling them both of life and goods. But all the daytime they lie lurking in mountains, woods, and the deep valleys. These mighty blacks perhaps descended from Jews, and implacable foes of Christians were to feed into the way Europeans viewed Africa. Now, the powerful part about this, where it says perhaps, these are his words. These are Parfitt's words.
Right.
These mighty blacks perhaps descended from Jews. That's his words. And implacable foes of Christians were feeding into the way Europeans viewed Africa and its inhabitants for several hundred years to come. But in his postscript, Pori identifies some more specifically Jewish African groups. At this day, also the Abyssinians affirmed that upon the Nile towards the west, there inhabited a most populous nation of the Jewish stock under the mighty king. And some of our modern cosmographers set down a province in those quarters, which they call the land of the Hebrews, placed it as it were under the equinoctial, in certain unknown mountains between the confines of Abyssines and the Congo. At the time, virtually nothing was known of Africa, and books like descriptions filled the void. It is therefore not surprising that the colonists and missionaries who first encountered the African interior from the 17th century onward drew upon these medieval imagineers as they tried to make sense of the overwhelming richness, complexity, variety, and sheer strangeness of the African societies. All right.
Woo!
That's chapter 2. The next part, we will be dealing with chapter 3, which is going to be dealing with the Hamitic hypothesis, the children of Ham, and really how the race theory came about. Because the reason why you have racial theories today is because of ideas like the curse of Ham. Well, if you see a black person, then you're all descend from Ham. That's how we think today. All black people are the same. I will debate anybody on that, by the way.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, that chapter 2 was straight.
That's a fact. We read over here, man. We read over here. Now, if I go back to chapter, let me go to 1.
Hold up, Joshua. That last statement you was making was very powerful. It's like, here they are. Here it is. We're rising up to challenge this narrative of race, to challenge this narrative of blackness, to challenge this narrative of being African. We're all the same. Just to come to find out that was a narrative that was pushed by our oppressors. And you got Negroes in 2020 who are going to war to defend that madness.
Right. Right.
They're going to war, bro. They're doing little dastardly tactics, right? Such as flagging our channel, right? You understand? Yeah, you know, when we're just simply reviewing information, and the information that we were reviewing was them reviewing us. But they flagging us. Man, if this is not the epitome of hypocrisy, man. Because guess what, family? We're not flagging none of these Negroes. We don't give a damn what these brothers are doing, all the information that they're bringing to the table. We're saying that we want to, we don't have no problem with any information that is being presented to be challenged. We are a debate league. This is what we do. We have no problem with information being challenged. Everybody at the source is not an Israelite. Everybody at the source don't believe in the Bible. All right. So this is individual information that is being brought forth. So we're being challenged every day about this information, is my point. Right. So all we're doing is compiling source upon source upon source.
Right, exactly. And that's why they call us the source. That's why we got that name. Because again, we're citing sources over here. Our competitors are not doing that. They're rhetoric masters. They just give us their opinion. Okay, but they don't give strong arguments to support their opinion. They don't cite any sources. They don't read these books. We do. We actually take the time out of our day to read these books. And it's so sad for Garfield because Garfield's a stay-at-home mom. He has more time allocated to him than I do. Brothers know I can get real busy in my field of work that I do outside of this YouTube thing. Sometimes I'll get home as late as 10 o'clock at night. And I still take out the time to read and disseminate information. Why? Because I am committed to this. Those guys don't have a commitment to the information. They don't care about it. You just dismiss it. That's why you don't read about it.
Nah, man, they're just a bunch of naysayers, man. You know, hey, did you know that the Jews, there were Jews in Africa? No, it wasn't. And then we just supposed to just drop it after these Negroes say, no, it wasn't.
We just supposed to just drop it and let it go. Because these brothers say, no, it wasn't. You Negroes are something else, man.
Right. I'm just gonna read this from chapter 1. I'm not gonna read all of it. Go watch the first part, and we covered this. But this is talking about the Jews being seen as black and the notion of the Jews being black. So page 15 says, I'm going to start here for page 14. It says, Portuguese Jewish statesman, exegete and financier, who observed that once long ago the Jews had been light-skinned, as the Mishnah maintains, but they had grown dark as part of the punishment of the exile. So again, in the Middle Ages, they had what they call melancholia, which was the belief that if you're black, it's because you sinned, right? A lot of these racist ideas about skin color came from the medieval times, and it just evolved into what we call the racial theory. All blacks are Africans, whites are European, and they're all superior. That came from that period. So when these Jews looking at themselves as black, they're like, well, damn, we must have did something wrong because these Christians is telling us that to be black is sinful. It's a result of sin. But the point of this source is the Jews had dark skin. It says the 13th century polemical text of Rabbi Yosef ben Nathan Official sought to rebuke Christians' charges that Jews were dark and unattractive. Why the text reads, are the majority of Gentiles white and attractive, while the majority of Jews are black and ugly? So this was written, I believe, in the 13th century, right? It says the writer explains this through an analogy of ripening fruit. Plums and sloes, he argued, are white at the start and become dark when they are ripe, whereas fruits like apples or apricots, which are red at the start, would finish up white and shrivel. This is seen as a meaning that the Jews who have no contact with the red or menstrual blood at the moment of their conception, because we know according to the laws of Moses, you cannot sleep with a woman while she's on her menstruation. But he's saying, as Jews, we refrain from that. That's why we're black. So he's giving a esoteric reason why they're black. And he's saying, but you Gentiles, y'all don't restrain from that, and that's why you're white. So he was kind of flipping the stereotype back on them. It said, as Jews refrain from sexual intercourse during the menstrual period, will finish up black. Whereas Christians who do not avoid the red of menstrual blood during sexual intercourse will finish up white like apples. The same thought is expressed in the contemporary Sefer Yosef HaMekanah. So the point I want to bring out is the Jews were seen as all black and ugly during the 13th century in this period, in this area, right? Because why would they be having a discourse about this if they're not? Okay, so Sefer Yosef HaMekanah, which boasts that we Jews are from a clean and white seed, therefore our faces are black. That's what it says. But you are from a red seed of ministration, therefore your visages are pale and reddened.
Right.
All right, and that goes to why many of us come to the conclusion that Esau was describing what we would call today a Caucasian or white male. The idea that Jews were blacks persisted into the 19th century. Robert Knox, 1791 to 1862, the controversial surgeon and anatomist and conservator of the College Museum, Edinburgh, in the mid-19th century, commented on the African character of the Jew, his muzzle-shaped mouth and face removing him from other races. The general look of the Jew was considered to be like that of the black. The general look of the Jew was considered like that of the black. Whose words are these? Parfitt's. The contour the contour is convex, the eyes long and fine, the outer angles running toward the temples, the brow and nose apt to form a single convex line. And the whole physiognomy, when swarthy, as it often is, has an African look. What does swarthy mean? Dark.
Woo!
19th 19th century physical
Hey,
anthropology.
Joshua, man, you gotta get out these white people, man.
Leave Brittany alone.
19th century.
Yo, listen, family. This is in that man's same book, the same man that got interviewed the other day.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, Joshua, why wasn't this particular portion talked about at all?
Well, one, you have to actually read the book to even know what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, Garfield wouldn't even, if he did know about it, he wouldn't ask him that because he's trying to paint a narrative. You know what I'm saying? That, all you Negroes that say y'all Jews is lying, y'all fake. So that's his purpose. His purpose is not to bring out truth and bring out, get understanding of what's being written here. All right, so 19th century physical anthropologists in general assumed that Jews had a close racial, that is, blood connection with blacks. The general consensus of the ethnological literature of the late 19th century was that the Jews were black, or at least swarthy. One such explained the predominant mouth of some Jews being a result of the presence of black blood. And that
now, when they say predominant mouth, they just simply mean they're just speaking on the thickness of the lips, correct?
Yes, yeah, the Jay-Z syndrome. The Rock Boys build the night.
Right. Listen, man, sometimes we have to magnify some of these points, family, so you can get a clearer picture that is being made, right? Because again, this is all for your benefit when you're entering into these conversations. Matter of fact, I would encourage you all right now to screenshot this. Let me go ahead and move this out the way. Screenshot this, because this is a kill shot right here. This whole passage right here is a kill shot, right? So I would encourage everybody to go ahead and screenshot this right here. 1 second here, because I'm doing it right now. Right, hold up. Seems like I ain't caught up there. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this. Boom. All right, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Gotta say that, brother. Yeah, so it says the predominant mouth of some Jews being a result of the presence of black blood, and that brown skin, thick lips, and prognathism are typical of Jews. Brown skin. I got brown skin. Jeremiah got brown skin.
Right.
Yeah, man. If you look up Jews right now on Google, it tell me does it fit that description that we just read? Hold on.
Right. Because the first thing I'm thinking about is Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman claimed to be a Jew, right? I don't think Max Kellerman has brown skin, family.
Is it talking about these?
Right.
When you look at these people, does it just scream Swarthy?
Right.
These niggas, these people with these two curls hanging out the side of their head. What we just read, does it fit these people right here? Are they brown?
Leave Brittany alone. Please.
Now, that's not to say that you can have real Jews look like this. That's not my point. My point is that the existence and prevalence of black Jews, it's clear that they existed. There's no way around it, and they were describing these people as such. But when we read this stuff, some of you guys are envisioning in your mind these people here. I don't know how these people don't have no they got little pigmentation, but they don't have they're not heavily melanated to be considered brown. What the hell wrong with y'all? All right, let's get back into the book, man. All right, so it says, and that brown skin, thick lips, and prognosticism were typical of the Jews. One of the key physical indicators of race was the nose. For the encyclopedists, all deviant noses were put together. The blacks, the Hottentots, and various people of Asia, such as all Jews. And a sense of appearance of Jews and blacks was constructed in a similar way, simply because both Jews and blacks were pariahs and outsiders. And in the racialized mind of Europe, this shared status implied that Jews and blacks had a shared look and shared black color in a shared black color. Let me go back to here. Let me go back over here. Now, where do you see these people being black at?
Right.
Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. Y'all, you guys is playing, man. Let me look up Max Kellerman, the damn ESPN. This is
yo, in an exact shared blackness.
Leave Brittany alone.
Yeah. When I read this, they had a shared look and a shared black color. I don't think of this.
Right.
I don't think of Max Kellerman. You know what I'm saying? I don't think of Charleston Heston. I don't think of these people. But for some reason, when we're reading about Jews and we're reading about this time period and how they're described, you get these pseudos that think about people like this. They think about Hasidic Jews, Ashkenazis. No, that's not what we're reading, man. And that's why.
Hey, you know what's funny, man? When that thing happened with Nick Cannon, they covered it on his show with Stephen A.
Mm-hmm.
They covered what Nick Cannon said, and it was like he was offended. I mean, listen, man. Should you be upset with Tudor Parfitt, Max Kellerman? Because we didn't write this book.
Right.
We didn't write it. And history, we're not responsible for. What we're saying is all praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that Tudor Parfitt had the testicular fortitudes to tell the truth, man. Jews and blacks had a shared look and a shared black color. Damn.
Facts. And it goes on. In some cases, Jews were considered black because they were of mixed African Judaic race. On occasion, the blackness or darkness of the skin of the African, like the Jew, was perceived as being not only due to inheritance, but also due to the effect of diseases such as syphilis. So that's what else was being taught in medieval times, that if you black, it's because you got some kind of sickness or disease. And we already know Edith Bruder cut that to the core. It's like, if you want to look at anything as a sickness or disease, like leprosy, that's dealing with paleness. That's dealing with whiteness. There's nothing in the Bible that says that, oh, you're going to get sick and grow black. You understand?
Right.
So, yeah, man. Powerful book. I want, before we close, to actually go to Sister E's channel and let Tudor Parfitt give a powerful statement that he brought over there on Sister E's channel. And let me stop sharing my screen. And let him just tell the people for himself. Thank you. Yeah, right there. We have the fair use. Under the Fair Use Act, we can review, comment, add parody, use it for scholarship and research purposes. So we're well within our right under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. You understand? For all you haters out there that want to see us fall. But at the end of the day, we're going to stand tall. You heard me?
Right.
Let me pull
Talk
up.
to me nice. Shout out to the Firehouse, man. Talk to me nice.
Yeah, man. You know, and I appreciate Sister E for even getting this interview, man. Y'all go subscribe to Sister E.
Yeah, man.
Let me go to her video. Let me see. Where is it at? Right here.
Could carry the Nagoma Knesset on the subject.
You're not sharing that.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to get the time marker.
Yeah, no sweat. Yeah, man. While the brother's trying to get that, man. Again, man, we got a debate, man, tomorrow night, man. Stay tuned in with the source, man. You understand me? 2011, we wanted our jobs back. 2021, we working. Understand that, man. Understand that.
That's a
and
fact.
Now we working.
All right, let's let Tudor Parfitt speak for himself, man.
It's like the Jews in Luango. That was one of the areas that we did a preliminary study on, and we were able to dig up some references on that where it's.
I do have a slight critique here on this interview. I love y'all, but y'all get somebody like Tudor Parfitt on y'all channel again. Let that man talk for the whole duration of the. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're gonna. Hey man, I can't stand with Nick Rose. You know, I'm not saying this is what was going on this show, but I can't stand when Nick Rose come on and try to prove what they know. You know what I mean? Like, man, come on, brother. We heard you. We've been listening to you, bro.
Right. Man, we would have got Tudor Parfitt on here. I was like, man, it's your show. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and rock out. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, we'll give our little 2-cent questions or whatever.
Right.
Spoke about the Jews of Luango, and there was some supposition as far as where they came from. I believe one of the people on site that actually interacted with them, said that they spoke perfect Portuguese, and they were just going off the top of my head, that they were they understood the Portuguese history very well. I think this is how I'm paraphrasing it.
Well, I don't know about that reference, and I'd be very surprised if it were entirely true. I think they would have known a bit of European languages because, after all, they traded. But in none of my sources do I get that, and I believe that they're descended from the orphans who were exiled, the Jewish orphans, Spanish Jewish orphans who were exiled to the Portuguese possession of São Tomé. But there's no absolute proof of that. It's probable, but you're absolutely right that there were plenty of other settlements, particularly in Senegal and down the what's called La Petite Côte. And there are a couple of very good books on the subject of this Sephardi settlement in the West Africa. We know, for instance, that by the middle of the 16th century, so 1550-ish, there were a number of communities that by then were black. They intermarried, but they maintained Judaism, and that's in Senegal. And undoubtedly, there were others further south, and we have references to these black Jews going way down the coast of West Africa. So the people that say there just aren't any Jews in Black Africa, or there's no proof of it, are simply wrong.
You're wrong. You're simply wrong. If you're saying in 2021 that there are no black Jews in West Africa, there were no black Jews in West, you are lying to the people.
Facts.
And Tudor Parfitt, you're wrong. You're wrong.
There is that. And, the various kind of theories that emerge from kind of Jewish groups in Nigeria, among the Igbo, and in, let's say, Ghana, with the community there, and different places throughout Africa. You know, it's, I mean, in a way, they're kind of theoretical. I'm not casting doubt on them, because these...
Look, he says, hey, these testimonies from these tribes are theoretical in a way, but he's not casting doubt upon them. So why are you guys trying to use this man's work to cast doubt on black Jews? The Jews of Ghana, the Jews of Igbo land, right? You try to use this man's work or try to say that he's saying that, and he's telling you verbatim, I'm not doing it.
These are people's cherished beliefs, and you know, one shouldn't cast doubt upon people's cherished belief. I mean, one of the things that many people in this country hold sacred is the stories like the virgin birth. Well, it was difficult to prove that there was a virgin birth, but it would be very bad form and very ungentlemanly to go around and say, virgin birth, nonsense. And that's what people do, you know, with respect to origin stories, or, you know, every nation has got its origin stories, and they may or may.
Right. So you just casting it away, and y'all acting as if Tudor Parfitt is doing. He telling you, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
May not be historically true, but usually it's impossible to know. So, yeah, I mean, it's
and that's what I tell y'all. Unless you got a time machine and you can go back in time and observe everything, everybody. Okay, this brother went over here. He had children over here. Okay, yeah, now I can say whether or not it's true. You don't have no damn time machine, man. So we doing what we can, having an analysis of the information and drawing a conclusion from there through abductive reasoning. That's how we do it. That's why he said it's impossible to know. You can't, unless you got own a damn time machine from back in the future, and you could drive that damn car into 2000 BCE or 1000 BCE. You can't do that, man. So this is the best way we can do it, the historical method.
But there's plenty of evidence anyway of these settlements. We also know that in the you know, from the 17th century on, that the whole of the Sahara is full of black Jews.
You heard what he just said? The whole of the Sahara from the 17th century on, we know that the whole of Sahara is full of black Jews. That's Tudor Parfitt's words.
There's no question about that.
There's no question about it. So why do we got these idiots on YouTube questioning it? So I said you guys are cynics, man. You guys are cynics, and it shows.
Absolutely, it's there in black and white, and you know, there are references to how they look, and they're not Arab looking. They're black African looking.
They're not Arab looking. They're black African looking. Oh, hold on, man.
Right. Yeah, man, bring that out, man. Damn.
He's spitting hot fire right now. Let's go.
Things that many people in this country hold sacred as the stories like the virgin birth. Well, it was difficult to prove that there was a virgin birth, but it would be very bad form and very ungentlemanly to go around and say, virgin birth, nonsense. And that's what people do, you know, with respect to you know, kind of origin stories, or, you know, every nation has got its origin stories, and they may or may not be historically true, but usually it's impossible to know. So, yeah, I mean, it's there's plenty of evidence anyway of these settlements. We also know that in the you know, from the 17th century on, that the whole of the Sahara is full of black Jews. There's no question about that. It's absolutely, it's there in black and white, and you know, there are references to how they look, and they're not Arab looking. They're black African looking, and they're celebrating Judaism, and so that's the Sahara. That would be places like Mali and places like Chad and places like the Sudan, no doubt. So, the historical fact.
So again, he's showing you historical merit to the claims that that the whole of Sahara was full of black Jews. They didn't look like Arabs; these were black African Jews. So I mean, what else do you want? Hey, what Tyree say? What more do you want from me?
Right. Yeah, man.
Hey,
Listen, family, they are literally trying to use this guy because he does not speak in absolutes. Right? It doesn't say all of these people are Jews or all of these people in Ghana are Jews. He's not doing that. So they're trying to play on that. They're trying to play on that. Right? But one thing he does say is that the Jews are not Arab looking. They're not Arab looking. They look African. And that's a kill shot.
Facts.
Fact of black Jews in Africa is well attested.
There we go back.
With respect to
we gotta run that back, man.
To kind of origin stories, or every nation has got its origin stories, and they may or may not be historically true, but usually it's impossible to know. So, yeah, I mean, it's there's plenty of evidence anyway of these settlements. We also know that in the from the 17th century on, the whole of the Sahara is full of black Jews. There's no question about that.
He said full of black Jews, and there's no question about it. This is a man that got his PhD studying this. This is a man that's been studying this and teaching this for the past, since the 80s? So we're talking about, 40 years? Come on.
Not only that, this is a man that has actually traveled and been there.
Exactly. That said amongst the limbo. He physically traveled their migration route that they taught in their oral history so he can understand where they were coming from. You understand? This man did all of that. So I'm going to take his word over some internet troll that makes a living off being a cynic. And a cynic just means someone that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Vehemently, habitually negative towards everything. Oh, that's fake. This fake. This is fake. You understand? That's what a cynic does. Don't consider no historicity. Don't consider source. Don't do nothing.
Yeah, and shout out to brother Yawasai from Connecticut, right? The brother, when me and the brother was on the godless hour, and it was definitely the godless hour,
right?
And he asked those brothers, "Are you saying that you deny history and archaeology?" And them brothers said yes. So everything that Brother Joshua just said, these brothers exist, and they're on your YouTube every day.
Right. Yeah, man, they cynics, man. CYNIC. They're cynics. You understand? These people are habitually negative towards these views. And it has nothing to do with the historicity or can we prove it. It's just that they're against it. That's it. A skeptic is someone that's like, well, I doubt it because X, Y, and Z. A cynic is they just doubt it. Or they just against it just because.
It's absolutely, it's there in black and white. And, there are references to how they look. And they're not Arab looking, they're black African looking. And they're celebrating Judaism. And so that's the Sahara. That would be places like Mali and places like Chad and places like the Sudan, no doubt. So, the historical fact of black Jews in Africa is well attested.
the historical fact of Black Jews in Africa is well attested. Well attested. Come on, man. There's nothing you guys can do against this.
In Africa as well as so in Africa, in addition to Africa, what about have you I think in your book, and actually I was trying to pull it up when Sister E, when you came to me the first time.
I ain't been All right, we got what we need now. Hey, how should we close the show out? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, blessings, man. All right, just let me back on the sister that we started the show with. You got that? You need me to send it to you?
I think it's still in my should be there in my inbox somewhere in there. But I hope everybody watching got something from this, man. We will be completing his book. The next part is going to be chapter 3. There's 9 chapters in total. So there should be a 9-part series that's going to be archived on the channel. I'm going to create a playlist so you guys can just go to the playlist and watch it in its entirety once it's completed. Yeah, man, great show.
We're going to do that for every book series that we do on here. We know that since we work so much here at the source, a lot of information could get lost in the YouTube black hole, so to speak. So we're gonna compile this information and we're gonna have that available for anybody that wants to get that, man. So be on the lookout for that, man. Put a nice package around it. I'm gonna go do some editing work, man, and insert. We'll be able to do a lot more with that, without the restrictions of YouTube, man. So it's gonna be powerful.
Yeah, man, because they coming after us. You know what I'm saying? But it's fine. We're gonna stand tall on this information.
Yeah, man, because this brother has other lectures and other speakings that he's done that will further substantiate the book itself, man. So yeah, Josh, I'm be getting with you, man, so we can put that together for the people so they'll have that, man, and be able to sit down and utilize that as a teaching tool.
Yeah, man. All right, I'm looking for it now. It wasn't in the inbox. I thought it was there. But I guarantee you, if I go to your channel, if I go to Y'all World and I type in blessings, it's going to come up. I guarantee you that's how I'm sure it's on your channel, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Man, hold up. I got it for you right quick.
Yeah, give me the YouTube. It's better if you give me the YouTube.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, man. So we working over here, man. Like the brother said, we're gonna finish Eda Bruder's book. It just takes more time to do that one because I'm actually typing in PowerPoint slides so you actually can see it because I had a physical copy of the actual book. And so you guys can actually see what's actually in the book. I'm trying to be as transparent as we can here on the source. But part 4, we're going to conclude that. And that'll be we'll finish that actual book and we'll have it as a playlist saved on YouTube so you guys can access the information and watch it in its entirety whenever you guys are free to do so. So like the brother said, man, we working, we building over here. And ain't no stopping this, man. Ain't no stopping this. We proving to y'all who really is dedicated, who's really into the information. These other brothers are dilettantes. Dilettantes mean they're not committed and they don't have enough. You understand? So they'll forever be stamped as such. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that came out tonight and showed us love. Shout out to Truthfully Honest. You on every show. We appreciate it. Shout out to Elder Yarash. Shabbat Shalom, brother. Congratulations on your win. You pretty much slaughtered. Never stood a chance, to be honest. Orthodox Moore, D-Red, the Blue Collar Scholar. Shout out, brother. And Plumantis, man. Shout out, brother. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to you, brother, man. You always showing love. We gonna show love. You always got a place you want to come on here and speak. You always got the mic, brother. Trust me. You are not going unnoticed. We got a channel called the Seven Candlesticks.
7 gang.
Oh yeah, he's right. We should set up a Patreon for the source. He's right. We set a Patreon up for an account. Yeah, man. But here's the thing: we set a Patreon up. You guys gonna have to subscribe to that thing, man. I mean, you got to pay.
Right.
You got to pledge, or I forget how it is, like a $5 pledge or something like that to even keep that going. That's a great idea. Look, man, we're trying to implement all of these things to, help grow the channel. Shalom to Akmalak. Yashar, tanks on the ground in the building. Shalom, brother. That's one of the founding fathers of the force right there, man. Amanda said Hitler was hunting down the scientists of the Sumerian Shem, Sumer, to forcibly make them do what he wanted them to do for him and the Nazis. You falsely so-called blacks won't even. You falsely so-called blacks won't even consider that it was you men who separated from the other brethren of the Israelites because you had too much stubborn testosterone causing us the desire to compete against your brother instead of working together toward common goals. You all put women and children in danger when you forget that there's strength in numbers of brethren. You still want to blame everything on TV. Human woman, you are a bunch of bullies competing again. I don't understand what this sister talking about.
Yeah, I mean, she went all the way in. I mean, I don't know.
She did 3 paragraphs. Right here, she says, the Ethiopians were first to write about ether. What's she trying to say, Esther? Thus, that's why the Greek state started to call the Nubians as Ethiopians. Oh, okay. Oh, I know that you stubborn or falsely identify yourselves as being a derogatory term, as black men don't like to learn from any women. I don't. Sister, you're welcome to come on the show at any time to express your opinions and views, and maybe it's more clear if you got on here and told us what you meant by that. I don't want to speculate.
Right.
Shout out to Gadawar Gabar, Shabbat Shalom. The brother was talking about that Blair Now's book actually goes back to 1919. So yeah, it'll be 101 years old. Shout out to, I guess, Reg83NY. Truthfully honest, like I said, Shalom, sister. We see you. Gary Curtis, Shalom, brother. Shalom, thanks for the support. Hit that like button. Shalom to Yakeem Javelin. Shalom to David Yisrael. Yeah, he said the 7-day cycle is off your mind. He said the 7 days should be Wednesday.
Listen, man, we are a debate league, brother. We're gonna have a debate tomorrow on that, and if you want to come in and think you can do a better job, if the results ain't what you like, you're more than welcome to come on and bring forth your information, brother.
Yeah, that's big facts.
Yeah, me personally, I hold to a 7-day weekly schedule, man. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it, man.
Right. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I ain't departed yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe tomorrow my mind will be changed. I don't know.
Right. Right. But again, we're open, man. We're not what you call them, brother, scenic. Okay.
Yeah, man. We ain't scenics, man. We here to learn. Man, Amanda was going in. Whoever this chicken, tell that she can come on and she can express her opinions on the source. We'll give her the panel and give her 30 minutes to an hour to express her opinions, and then we're gonna have questions for you.
Right.
Says Romanians were invaded by harsh Vatican II. There was no letter J for even 600 years yet, so no one was called Jews 2,000 years ago. Man, I want to speak to that real quick. Modern translations, man, they're not going to be exactly what was spoken. 2,000 years ago, because 2,000 years ago, nobody was speaking English. Nobody was speaking, how the languages we speak right now. They were speaking Greek, Roman, and not all Greek and Italian or whatever. Not all of those languages are the same. I mean, Latin. You got different dialects of that. So, of course, they wasn't saying that. But for us to understand, and we have our names and what we call them in our tongue. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right. Listen, we're just speaking colloquially. Paul tells us in the New Testament not to make ourselves barbarians, right? By speaking in an unknown tongue. Okay. So if we come on here and we're spitting out Hebrew unto y'all, man, y'all not gonna get it, man. Y'all not gonna get it, right? So it's more important that you understand what we're referencing, right? So for someone to point out the letter J, like, we understand that. We understand that, and I'm with you, right? We say Kwam Yashala, right? We say power to our people. For folks to understand that, they have to know that, listen, we're talking about rise Israel when we say Kwam Yashala. You see? So these things, we know that the language goes back, but we want what is most important, which is for the people to understand on the basis level. This is what Paul was saying. Paul said, I'd much rather speak with 5 words of understanding than a multitude of words in an unknown tongue. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, man. Right? So we're simplifying here, and we're doing that purposely so everyone can comprehend. It's very important that happens. This is why we elaborate on certain words and terms, scholastic words and terms that are being used. It's important that you understand what these terms mean. So when your words are being used here at the source, we break those words down. Right?
Yeah, man.
But again, you're more than welcome to come on here if you want to express something, sister. See, she got a lot to say, boy. I mean, straight paragraph. I didn't know you can get that many words in the comment section, Joshua.
Yeah, I think Facebook don't got no limit, man. YouTube was a limit. Look, she right here again. She said they were called Berbers, Ebers, and Ebos. Let me get on the screen. The Good Samaritans, the Semitic people. Yeah, man. Your sister could get a snot on the show and speak her mind.
I got that the video is it was actually on Army of Israel, so I sent it to you in the DM.
All right. Ramal Yahoo, shalom. Sharon Atkins, shalom. Appreciate that new subscriber to the channel. Maria Shaya. Dang, this sister went in again. She said, "You men still to admit how most states and places are named after women, as Africa is named after Aphrodite, even a Moorish tribe with a fork. Now you have Africa that's a Caucasian."
What does that have to do with what we're talking about, man? Come on, man. Is she asserting that we're somehow leaving the woman out? I don't get it.
Yeah, because Hebrews are all a bunch of women hating sexist.
Oh, right. Yeah, but yet one of the founders of the source is a woman, man. Shout out to Sister Diamond, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, shout out to Sister Diamond. We were just talking to her. She pulled a jewel out. I don't want to spill the beans. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you, man, that sister's not to be played with, man. And Duran Tillis, if you listening, brother, let me tell you something, brother. All right, you can go ahead and underestimate this sister if you want to, brother. All right, my money's on Diamond. Understand that, right? But go ahead, brother.
I also want to speak to this. If you go to the Book of Jubilees, I believe it's the Book of Jubilees. It talks about they named the lands after their daughters.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So no, ain't nobody sitting up here denying that ever happened. I don't know why you even said that, but maybe like again, if you're still watching Amanda's sister, you can have your own show here on the source. We'll give you the panel. You can go in for 30 minutes to an hour. And, you know, after your hour's done, we're going to have a Q&A. You can express your opinions and let us know where you come from. We're going to have a Q&A and we're going to have some questions for you. She said, it's the opposite. The so-called whites who are really Caucasian lost their melanin by doing incest within their generations like Nimrod did. Now, with that, I will agree that the Europeans are mostly inbred people.
Notoriously inbred.
Yeah, and that is how they lost a lot of their genetic.
Yo, Joshua, I told a brother that, man. I think shout out to Black Jesus Minister, man. I think I told that brother that, man. Well, how did they? I said, listen, man. They was isolated in Mount Seir. First of all, it was isolated in Mount Seir, and then 1,000+ years later, or more, 1,500 years later, they was isolated in the Caucasus Mountains, right? Notoriously inbred. Tells you that Esau, there's no greater fornicator than Esau.
Right. Yeah, man. That's how had limited genetic diversity. A lot of them are white, pale skin, and have a lot of these recessive traits. Shalom to Moray Yeshaya Torah lessons. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom to Sir Lot. Shalom. Hit that like button, brother. Shabbat shalom. Scott Garat Haley. Shalom to you. Dang, this sister went in again. Like
Yo.
She said after getting
Yo, man, we might gotta drop the link. Let her come on, man, because she got something she want to say, man.
She said after getting invaded and our temples taken away, we had to start over again and start to call ourselves Jews from being Semites of good Sumerian. She also says Asians, real original Aboriginal Irish, Armenians, Romanians, who were all people of color, mostly with curly, wavy hair and brown to yellow to tan skin. So she had her own little lesson going on back here. She was teaching while we were teaching.
Yeah, man. Listen, you want to come on real quick, man? We give you about 15 minutes, man. Then we're going to have some questions. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sean Harris. He be on every show, showing love. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom. You dropped that link for real.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen to it's in the chat, man. If you got something you want to say, because I think YouTube give you 140 characters, man. you exceeding that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, sister not gonna come on here right now, man. But sister, if you hear us, just hit us up on the Facebook group. And we can set up a scheduled date where you can come on, express your opinions, and do your own show. We'll let you pick a title. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not nothing vulgar, nothing, crazy, you good. And we'll go from there. Again, Facebook group, Source Debate League, and leave a comment. A lot of y'all joining the Facebook group and not leaving a comment and telling us what you want. You need to come in there and tell us, hey, I want to be a judge, I want to be a debater, or I want to present information on the platform.
Right.
And we will allow it. We will allow it. You know what I'm saying? It's an open platform. We'll let anybody come on here and speak. The Ron's been on here. We had Matt this week.
Shout out to Matt So Real.
We had Matt So Real this week. He came out and gave a lesson, you know what I'm saying? And we don't agree with Matt. We don't agree with his modern Christian theology. But we allowed him to have a voice. This is what sets this platform apart from other platforms, because you're not going to find that nowhere else. You're not. These other platforms, you go on there with an opposing idea, it's going to be 8 people there waiting to kill you, man. You get one sentence out, they waiting to, you know what I'm saying, gish gallop you to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shalom the second Exodus. Shabbat Shalom. And Shalom the Royal Prince, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, Source Debate League on YouTube. Follow us on the Facebook group on YouTube, on Facebook, Source Debate League on Facebook. Leave a comment saying you want to be a debater or a judge or you want to present information. Leave a comment. There's no way else we can tell that you want to do something if you don't communicate.
Right.
All right, let's open this YouTube up. I don't know why I couldn't find it. I thought you sent this to me before.
Greetings to you all.
SUC, y'all know how we do. Source up, gang. We
Gold
here.
Coast Gorillas, man.
Yeah, man. Gold Coast Gorilla. Shout out to King Self.
Middleweight champion. Put some respect on his name, man.
Yeah, man. Middleweight champion, man. But I've been doing damage. All right, let's get to it.
I've been sent here to do great things, amazing things, beautiful things, positive things, blessing things, healing things, happy things, for the rebuilding of the new world, the blessing of the world, to build the kingdom here of the Most High God here on earth. Blessings to you, sending you love and positive vibrations around the world. Blessings to you. You're welcome.
Most motivation, start with devastation. You must fall before you rise. They want a demonstration. I'm here to get it all. Right before I spend it all, the elder need to come and see the youth. They need to get involved. I want the finer things, in love with shiny things, descended from black royalty, so you can blame my veins. I just call it blessings. I got the right perspective. If I see myself going off, I'm just gonna change direction. I love the brotherhood with all the flaws of brotherhood. I ain't gotta say a damn word and know it's understood. Yeah, we make mistakes, but that's what makes us great. Learn how to accept apology without acting fake. I know the pot is hot because you're grudge bearing. A lot of niggas going blind because they sun is staring. They on the mission to dim the light, we call it tail bearing. The law said thou should not covet, but he's still staring. And now I'm mortified with all the sins that multiply. Got your brother crying at the wall like a Mordecai. I'm really horrified. A lot of brothers are feminized. They really start to bug my damn nerves. I use pesticide.
Unlearn, relearn, and apply. Get your blessings from the Most High. Matthew 7:7, seek and you shall find. If you lack, it shall be open wide. Blessings. Hey, get your blessings. Hey, Deuteronomy 28:2-3. All these blessings shall come upon thee. All these blessings shall overtake thee. Get your blessings, hearken unto thee. Blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall thou be in the city.
I push a Range Rover until the rain's over. Dying from an overdose of hate, man, he can't stay sober. But it's not the car, it's my spirit, man. Claiming that he show brotherly love, but he never does. There's no greater wealth than your family's health. Gather all the negativity and put it on the shelf. And it's nothing wrong when you have success. A father leave inheritance to his children, that man is blessed.
Unlearn, relearn, and apply. Get your blessings from the Most High. Matthew 7:7, seek and you shall find. If you lack, it shall be open wide. Blessings. Hey, get your blessings. Hey, Deuteronomy 28:2-3. All these blessings shall come upon thee. All these blessings shall overtake thee. Get your blessings, hearken unto thee. Blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall thou be in the city.
Yo, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, family. We appreciate the love and support, man, here at the Source, man. Stick with us. More and more powerful information to come. We appreciate it, man. Y'all go check out and support the sister, man. As always, man, SUC 7 gang, right? This is what we do, man. Source up or shut up, man. It's not a debate. It's a stick up, man.
Gang.